Hello, it's me, and I thought I'd go and roll out and demonstrate GR-Cube's brilliant modifications of the AI cube. The AI cube, as you know, is basically a 4x4 with bandaged corners over here, and then you've got these guys here which can be scrambled as long as you put them in the right conformation. But what that means is you have to line them up exactly the right way, and that's what leads to a lot of the challenge of the puzzle. So a number of strategies use what I call the AI strategy, but here I thought I'd dole out in true tetrahedral modification style the master of the four-sided puzzles, GR-Cubed. We've got version 1, version 2, and version 3. However, even though this is 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to put them in this order here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of do a display on these puzzles, because I'd really like to increase his advertisement, so to speak, so that more people can get these puzzles and they can even be actually mass-produced. Because there's differing levels of difficulty that happen with them. So when starting this, just to kind of do a demonstration, as you know, you have to bring this up here and here. That's when you can do the scramble, and that's when you can do the solve. So how does this correlate with each one? Now I'll tell you that the puzzles themselves are fairly simple. If you can solve these, you can bend your perspective and solve these, but it culminates to this guy, version 2, which is the hardest. So for those who have this collection, this is probably the one you're waiting for. But if I were to put this into scramble form, we'll move this up here. So basically with this, it's all been placed in the middle. Here it's all on one side like this, and with here it's all towards the periphery, so you have to line them up as such. So if I were to move this over to here and to here, then from here I can start doing the same kind of scrambles as you would with this guy over here. Now this is already lined up and ready for scrambling. And this guy over here, I'd have to move up to here and to here. So this is ready for scrambling. So you can see that this is kind of an upside down version of this. And it's amazing how that one little difference is going to change the difficulty of this particular puzzle. Now, in terms of identifying pieces, so these are corners over here, so they're likened onto this guy. So this is a corner. Over here, as we're looking at this, corner and corner. Some corners have rotational equivalency, which means that you can rotate it any way along any side, any part of it, and it's going to look the same. Some of them don't. This doesn't. It has a very specific orientation. So corner, edge, center, and that's how I'm going to be referring to them. So we have corner, edge, center. This would be an edge, this would be a center, and for this beast here, corner, edge, and center. The whole key to the strategy of solving this, to make it more, easier, is the equivalencies of some of these pieces. So this center has an equivalency with this center, so I can swap these around. It's the swapping these around that make the scramble more complete, but also allows you to guide your way through the solution. So I make use of equivalencies here in order to put things back in. Now corners do not have any equivalencies, rotational or translational. Rotational equivalency is where you can rotate it and it looks the same. Translational is where you can swap it with something else and it looks the same. So if these two pieces were the same. So this just has translational as well as rotational equivalencies. You can rotate this and it won't matter. You can translate it where you swap these two and that won't matter. Over here, there's so much of that going around. This can be swapped rotationally, so this has rotational symmetry. These can all be swapped with each other, as can these. So there's complete equivalencies. So this is a nice, gentle, and fairly easy puzzle. Here, taking a look at this, each one of these are 2x2x2 blocks. By the way that you put this in is you get your, these are 2x2x2 blocks. This is a 1x1x2 where you get this first. Then I place a 1x2x2 sheet, and then I just place the bottom one and put it in there. And then hilarity ensues. But looking at this over here, you can see that there's some equivalencies. These blocks over here, you don't have any equivalency rotational of the corner or equivalencies of any of these centers. This is unique in terms of where it is. There's another color that's, well, no, actually not in this particular puzzle. This puzzle, all of the centers have no equivalencies. They're very specific with where they go, which is what is really difficult about this particular puzzle. Now the key to solving this is the simple commutator of RIDIRD. That's what I do to rotate this around. If I wanted to rotate this whole block clockwise, then I do RIDIRD commutator twice. So that'll be to rotate this clockwise where this blue would end up here, RIDIRD, RIDIRD. That's once, and again, RD, RIDIRD, and that's twice. So twice we'll rotate this clockwise. Once we'll rotate it counterclockwise. So to get it back up, I just do it once. RIDIRD, RIDIRD, and that brings that back up to there. So that's in essence how we do the positioning and repositioning with these puzzles. So let's go ahead and scramble these up. We'll scramble all of them up here. And the way that I'm going to do is just turn this over here, pop this into here. So I'm going to do a couple of moves scrambling this just to show the movement of the puzzle here. This comes up here. So I would keep doing this until I have it all scrambled. And plop this here, double turn this here. So it's looking pretty good. Move this into here. Turn, 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 turn. Just kind of separating everything out, especially the corners with the edges. Turn and turn, line it up right, and the movement's very good. Actually, let's RIDIRD this. I'm just rotating this around to enhance the scramble a little bit, just to separate these guys out, and turn. Alright, after you do that, to really enhance the look of the scramble, we can just move this around randomly here and curse splat. Okay, so this is a scrambled version 1. Now we go to a scrambled version 2. So what does this look like? Well, this one does something that this doesn't do regarding these three areas here. When I move this here, this corner now replaces where this corner was. This actually shapeshifts. So this is a shape-shifting version, and it's the only one that does that. So I'll move this up along here. Yep, gotta get my perspective here. There's enough of a difference with these guys to kind of throw you off a little bit. Now we'll just move this guy around, trying to keep my perspective with this whole puzzle. This comes up here, and yeah, we can start moving these around like so. So this has a much more impressive looking scramble at first. Turn this over here so that, yeah, we can move that like thus. Turn this here, turn it up, and I keep moving things around. So not bad, but I think we can do a little more. Like turning this here, RIDI. Well, let's get a little bit of a better scramble here. So I'm amazed at how good his craftsmanship is. It's getting better and better. Comparing his earlier puzzles to his later puzzles, but he is definitely, GR Cubed is a force, a mod force to be reckoned with. A lot can be learned from him. And let's go ahead and take this out. Turn, once more I think. Turn, turn, turn. Okay, that teases these guys out. I'm just moving corners away from edges, turn, and bring this guy up. Oh. And now we can move this one out from here and turn. Okay, so I think we've destroyed this enough. So let's go ahead and move it around, just kind of do some random scrambles. Okay, so now this is a scrambled version 3. So remember, this is version 1, this is version 3, and now we get to version 2. Do I dare scramble it? Well, sure. This one does not shapeshift amongst the top, but we're going to go ahead and do this. Turn, turn, and turn. Taking the leap of faith that we might know what the heck we're doing, but probably not. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep moving these guys all around, making it look like a nice and impressive scramble here. This one moves a lot more smooth. because I spent a lot more time on this one. A lot more time. I wonder who else has these puzzles? What other fortunate people are benefiting from the challenge that these have to offer? Turn. Hopefully a lot more in the future. Okay, not bad. I think I've made my point. I think I've done my damage. Okay. So there it is. Scrambled versions 1, 2, and 3. But again, we're just going to put these over here. And now we can go ahead and demonstrate the strategy with this. You can see shapeshifted only insofar as it's shapeshifted as a Megamorphix is. But these areas here aren't shapeshifted. So these 2x2x2 blocks aren't shapeshifted. So now what we're left to do is go ahead and go through the process of putting them back in. And I'm going to do them in decreasing levels of difficulty. So the first step, just like with here, is get them all to the top. So move this into here. And I'll just plop this into here. Now this one is a nice, kind, and gentle one because I've got complete equivalencies. Each one is a different color, and each one falls in just fine. The way that I do it first is I start off with these two over here. So I start off with a corner and edge pair. So I start off by putting a 1x1x2 block, and that's what this is. Now I put in a 1x2x2 sheet, which is this over here or this over here. So all I need to do is find a edge center pair, just like this would be an edge center pair over here, to put it with these guys, to put it with the 1x2x2 block. So now that I have this here, what I need to do is I need to put in edge center pair over here. So looking across here, so I need to match an edge here as opposed to here. So I'm going to take this and just wheel it around and move this here. Once I have this here, I just swing this down. So I'm going to swing it down to here. Move this around, just put this harmlessly into here. Now I take these two, swing it into here. So now I've got these two over here. Once I get a whole sheet, a 1x2x2 sheet, I simply move it up. And then after doing that, I place in this part over here, which is the same as this. So I'm going to line it up with this edge. This is going to come into here. Now this is lined up. Now I have to flip it upside down to line up with this one. Swing it in. This is now in. Turn this upside down here. Turn, turn, and splat. So now this is all fine. This is all done. So far so good. Now I'm just putting in the others. I've got a white one here that's matched up. So I've got a corner edge pattern over here. Just move that up so that it's facing the top area here. And like so. Now I need to match it with another edge corner. Edge center rather. Which could be here. Is it this one? Well, if I move it down here, yep, it's this one here. So actually I can do that. This has complete rotational equivalency as well. So I'll move this down so this is where I want it to be oriented right. And I simply move this up over to here. Now what I'm going to do is take this, wheel it along here so that this is made, and I've got to rotate this up so I can wheel this one back. Okay, done and done, move this in, so now we've got this into here. Now same kind of thing, take this and move it to the proper centers. Well, first I want to match it up with this, so let's go ahead and turn this upside down. Okay, simply move this into here, now we throw this upside down. D, R-I-D-I-R-D, move this in, no worries. This is now in, we simply move this down, splat. I'm going to move this here and then turn this upside down for reasons that I'm going to show. Turn and turn. Okay, so what we have is we need to move this in without destroying this. To do that, it's a pretty simple strategy. I move it in, then I move it once more. Now I hold it over here, so corner swap. A corner swap will then make me do another U move to bring this to here because they're swapped. Then at the same time, because this will be over here, the U will move this one in as well. So there's a little trick in your AI puzzle to solve when you have to swap two. To our U, 2R, UI, 2R, turn the puzzle, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R, turn, and lo and behold it's in. So far so good. No big worries. This is in over here, so just match it up with the green. I can match it up with this one. Now the neat thing about this puzzle is as long as I work on the third one, when I work on the third one, I'm automatically putting in the fourth one. So I don't even have to worry about that. So I'm going to move this in, like so, and now turn this upside down. R-I, D-I, R-D, R-I, D-I, R-D. And now to get these back in, we simply turn it back. Okay, so we just have these two to deal with, but again, I'm just focusing on the one in order to have this one automatically go in. Okay, so best way to do that is I'm just going to take this, move this into here so that this is where it needs to be. Now I'm going to move this around to separate it from this guy, R-I, D-I, R-D, R-I, D-I, R-D. And once more. D, and move this over here. Now I'm just going to flip this around to here to match with this center here. Okay, what I'm going to have to do is actually take this and move it to this side. So turn this over here. And we move it back, and now we move this back up to here. D, move this in, which binds this. It also makes my sheet over here, my 1x2x2 sheet. Turn this upside down, or rather turn the green 1x2x2 bar on the bottom. And now just move this in like so. So now you can see all these are in, and all I had to do was do them one by one, work on the third one, the fourth one is automatically in. So a nice easy way of reducing all of these. Once we do that, we simply do our pyromorphing solve. Pyromorphing solve will come around here. Where's the other green with the orange? It's right here. And like so. Yellow comes here. This is really just a 2x2 solve, a shifting 2x2 solve. And now this needs to make its way to here. Turn, 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 and turn. We like this over here. These two need to swap. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, turn, 2R, UI, 2R, U, and 2R. So they're where they need to be. This just needs to be rotated. We can more easily do that if I put this on the bottom now. Turn this over here and then just rotate this around. R, D, R-I, D-I, R, D. It rotates that around and we're done. Version 1 is done. We're going to bypass version 2 and go to version 3. So now where we left off, we're going to go to version 3, which is actually the second one that I'm going to do. So I've got some that look like this and some that, well, will look like this. So this one's a little more difficult in that I don't have quite as much equivalencies, but the concept is really the same. So let's see which two I can actually start off with. Right now they're all separated. So let's see if I can find this corner can match with this. Once this matches here, I'm going to turn this 1x1x2 bar up and bring this down across here. And now what I'm going to do is match this with a edge center pair. Now we can bring this in and then we can move this down. Splat. Turn this across here. And we can wheel this down until this is in. So now I'm going to take this 1x2x2 sheet, bring it up. And now it's a matter of filling this. So far we're not doing anything different. This will come into here. Now let's move this to the other side. I'm just going to turn it upside down here. Turn, turn, and turn. And I'll find the other center, which is this one. Bring this down. This comes across here, up, bring it in. And just like that, we've got the first 2x2x2. Now, it might be best to do one of these next, only because the last one puts itself in. So the last one kind of resolves itself. This is in over here, so I'm looking for either an orange with an orange and yellow. So I can move this into here to be the orange and yellow. Now I can move this down.
Hi.
Hi there. R, D. Okay, now I can move this in. Okay, so this doesn't match up. This is the wrong orange and yellow, so I can find the other one. There's another one here somewhere, and it's this. So this is the orange one that has to go into there. So I'm going to move this here, then bring this down. R, D, R, I. So the technique is the same so far. White one has to be down. R, I, D, I, R, D. R, I, D, I, R, D. Bump this out of the way, and now we move the orange one down, like so. We can move this in. So now this is matched up. I've got the 1x2x2 bar here, sheet rather here, and now I simply move this up. Turn, turn, turn. And then I get my yellow back. So this is good. Now I just need to finish this up. I need a white with a white orange, white yellow on the other side. Here's the white. I can match this up to here, and let's move this down. R, I, D, I, R, D, R, I, D, I, R, D. Bring this back. Now I have to get this white one to here. The way that I'm going to do that is first let's flip this to where it can be on this side, so this white can be facing up. Gonna fast forward this part. Okay. Now that that's here, I'm going to move this in. Move this to up here. That's going to be a one-time counterclockwise use of this commutator, and then go splat. So it's a fairly fast-moving solve, as you can see. Now I just move this one down. I'll go like this to do that. And I'm going to strategically place this here. R, I, D, I, R. And this guy will come over here. And this will come over here. I had to make it a little complicated. Okay. R, I, D, I. Okay. So now what I have to do is move this into here so that this 2x2x2 block can be solved, but I'm in danger of destroying this, so I'm going to move it in, move it one more, and if I do a corner swap, then another U will then put this in, and will also put this to here. So that's 2R U, 2R UI, 2R, turn, 2R UI, 2R U, 2R. I do my one more turn and splat. In and in. Now I'm down to the last two. Okay, so now we're going to be doing the last two here. Now if I just put this one in, this will automatically fix itself. So I've got this orange. Why don't we put this orange corner to this part of the orange edge. Move this in here, and then I can move this back. R, I, D, I, R, D. So I'm not even worried about the other one. It's simplicity itself. And I guess we can move this back here. Actually, I can anticipate having the orange and yellow here, so I want this orange to be here. So let's put this here and put the green into here. R, I, D, I, R, D. R, I, D, I, R, D. Now we can move this like so. Okay? So now I'm going to move the orange down to place this one in. Alright, D, I, R, D. So aside from the shape shifting, we haven't seen too much of a difference in terms of the complexity of the solve. And after going through these two versions, probably thinking, alright, it's a fun modification, but not too difficult. So now I've got this sheet over here, And this is going to form two functions here as I move this to the other side. I got to separate this one out. Okay, first splat. So now what I have to do is I just have to get this green and convince it to join with these guys over here. What I have to do first is take this and line the green up over here so that the green is facing up, which means turning this here. R-I, D-I, R, D, R, D. Move this into here. So now I'm going to put the green up. D, R-I, D-I, R, D. This goes here, which is perfect. Then I have to move it back to here. D, R-I, D-I, R, D. And move it back to here. Okay, now what I need to do is, let's move this down. I need to move this so that it can flip also. R, D. And now I'm going to turn this over here and move it so that the screen is up over here. Then I'm going to come over to here. And now I'm going to move this, well, this has to move up. Okay, so now that this is up, I'm going to move this into here, which will create this one, put it up, or put it on the bottom here, and go splat. So these are now all assembled, and all we have to do is our 2x2 solve. So it would appear that this particular puzzle, although it's an interesting shape variation of it, is really the same kind of solve and the same kind of challenge. So we move this into here, and continuing the process of my 2x2 pyromorphing solve. This goes here. I'm going to put this in. This doesn't like to be in this corner here, nor does this like to be here. So I would like, well, actually, yeah, I would like this yellow to be here. 2R U, 2R UI, 2R, turn, 2R UI, 2R U, 2R. All right, we like where this is. Now we just have to flip flop these guys. 2R and 2R UI, 2R U, 2R, and in we go. So now I just have to RID these. Turn this here. This goes twice, or possibly once. Yep. So now I just do this guy once here. R D. R-I, D-I, R-D. Okay, so we fought our way to the end of this. So this version, version 3, is also similarly done.